This is what we call a very successful bait and switch, because they kick the episode off with all these bad omens, right? Black cat, stepping in the poop, as Anya says, and immediately they say that's not just them trying to say, oh, they're baiting us in because it's bad, but it'll actually be good, Anya will pass, everything's fine. No, she didn't get in. It's just immediately established that the bad luck, it's there. Like, literally, they ain't getting in. But then, they're like, you know what? We're going to give you a bone. We're going to throw you a bone here. We're going to say she's number one on the waiting list. Because, of course, that mosquito's number one human killer out there. I love how the accidental punch to the table was able to be spun in such a brilliant way that it looks like, obviously not from the man's point of view, who almost got his face completely pummeled in, but the fact that you could argue he was just punching the mosquito. He very much valued your life because of your prestigious title, and that in return gets her on number one waiting list. But I love the fact that they can go from establishing like the worst case scenario to then becoming best case scenario, as then you get this amazing mission with LOIDMAN being best dad in rescuing his daughter, Princess Anya. I think what makes this entire dynamic so amazing is that despite not fitting the roles in terms of what they believe anyway, you're this assassin, Loid this spy, Anya someone who is experimented on and tortured, now can read minds, they really have just immediately become the perfect family, right? I mean, the last thing I ever was expecting in this spy mission was that the drunken witch would be the final obstacle, and we wouldn't need to take her down in any specific way. We just need to let her tire herself out, because the dizziness and clumsiness would take her out and she would just nap off in the distance as, best boy over here gets a punch to the face for all the bullshit that he was causing. I love him. I honestly think he's like the brilliant right-hand man to Loid, who's a big troll, who's done so much for Loid, but also kind of needed to get it out of his system that maybe I'm a little better. I think it's always fun when a very strong character, such as Loid, has a friend who does so much for him. It's not like he's useless, right? He does have his own connections in the way he gets things done, but it's also fun to have him pick Anya over Loid and be like, you know what, if I was you, I wouldn't accept this dad right now. He's not going above and beyond enough. He rented out a castle for you, not good enough. We're going to send in the army of trained spies to play along with his make-believe situation. I'm really glad, though, that they did have a joke about how much it costs, because while watching this situation occur, all I could think to myself was, goddamn, of course, he's working for a rich organization. They're going to have tools, they're going to have a bank account that they can do whatever with. But honestly, that has to be costing an arm and a leg, and I'm glad that there was a legit joke about that at the end, where the woman passes the bill to who I assume is in charge, and he's just he's not mad, he's just is this for real? And she's like, yeah, it's for real. And I'm just what better way to tie it all together? But I think what makes it so charming is that because you have two different perspectives during this entire situation, right? You have, of course, the Forger family, and then you have all these people who look up to Twilight as this amazing spy, the best of the best. He's doing brilliant maneuvers like tapping on the microphone or tapping his foot, giving Morse code so they know it's all part of the mission, don't probe further, but just go along with the bullshit. And it's not even that's the main reason. They're just so enthralled that, you know what, this is for the mission, of course, but goddamn, we respect this guy so much, we just want to have fun with him. They're all a bunch of children at the end of the day, and to see a man who's so stoic and so cool, calm, and collective get more embarrassed as it goes on, especially when he has to put on the costume, and just, the fact that around all of these, professional men, he has to say the lines because she just wants it to be like her show. I just love how this show, it just immediately makes you feel like you've known them for far longer than we have. Truly, I don't think there's going to be many anime-onlys who are going to say, it feels like we've only known these characters for 5 episodes. Hell, Yor we haven't even known for 5 episodes, as she got introduced after the fact, right? But it just feels like they click so well, and it's really interesting to see how in moments like these, it really does bring out the true character in them. When it came to them failing, right? Or appeared to be failing. And then the idea that if anyone drops out, then she'll be able to go to school. Immediately, Yor is thinking about killing a father. And I mean, she has to pull herself away. It's a pretty brutal joke, but it goes to show that immediately, despite being this assassin, she would do anything and take her skills and what she's used to doing to get her into the place she needs to, before reeling herself into reality, saying, I can't do that anymore. And then just the fact that throughout this entire episode, she didn't do a hell of a lot, but goddamn was she an added background bonus. I mean, she's just drinking her wine throughout most of this episode, and she's so drunk that she doesn't even question things. And then when it comes to protecting Anya, someone's trying to kidnap, can't even, clue into the fact that it's Loid. because, of course, of the costume. So she's so drunk mixed in with the costume and makes it look like a stranger danger. And she was ready to kill. Hell, Loid himself even was like, goddamn, she actually will kill me if I don't do something. And luckily, she just passed out from the drunken kind of partying that she was doing. But I love just seeing how far they went here, because no father, no mother needed to do what just happened, right? You know, you could have took her to an amusement park. But I love the fact that it kind of gives me the impression of like, goddamn, this is what rich people should be doing. Rather than their bullshit caviar and, you know, their really boring ass parties. Rent out a goddamn castle and pretend to have a spy mission go on. That is way more cool, and I feel like collectively the universe as a whole would let out a sigh of, goddamn, that's what I would do if I had that bucket load of money and I'd never had to worry about finances again. I just love the show. I just really feel like it makes the connection of the family the star, and everything else surrounding them is an added bonus. We didn't need the mission for it to be great. I mean, just look at the most simple scene in the episode. They get the phone call, they've been waiting around a couple of days, he hangs up the phone, he pulls it out and just pops the confetti, and they're just so happy. I could just have episodes with scenes like that, and it's still going to be a 10 out of 10. But give me the extreme playtime adventures, it's even better. And I love the fact that the older guy there, Best Grandpa is what I'm going to be calling him. I love the fact that, you know, he really did go above and beyond. He even views it as, I'm probably not even going to be hired anymore when you get in. A few people always do drop out, so she'll get in eventually, but just know, like, you know, I mean, seriously, that's kind of like bad, because he's the man kind of keeping everything together, it feels like. So if he's not there when they go, very much an added antagonist bonus already. I mean, we already have the man who got punched in the face, and seriously, I'm glad that he's probably going to be remaining a part of the cast, because a good foil to a character like Anya and Loid and Yor goes a long way. But I'm hoping Best Grandpa gets to stick around, because his elegance is something that's desperately needed in this school that the school is most likely lacking. Given that we've now essentially done the first part of the mission, which is to get into this school, it'll be very interesting, because now that we're getting into the school, therefore Anya herself will most likely have to have more scenes dominated by just her, which, I mean, the number of times she doesn't say anything in the background already, but her face says it all. It's hilarious, it's entertaining, but you can also get a sense of what she's feeling, good or bad emotion. So I think that is something I'm quite interested in seeing, her just interacting with the other kids and just the teachers and things like that, and how they'll balance the directing between the adult storyline and the kid storyline, and how they'll connect sometimes but also be separated at different times. I think having Anya separated for a little bit will give some interesting dynamic and time for Yor and Loid, because they won't have to pretend, even though they're not pretending, but to them they are pretending to be this amazing parents. They are, but to them they don't really think it, because they're still bought into the lie. So it'll be interesting to see how they would act between each other, again, like they did in their kind of proposal scene, rather than the mother-father scenes that we've been seeing, right? But I mean, I leave another episode very satisfied. I am loving it start to finish. I truly haven't had as much, like, immediate love for a show in terms of this type of family dynamic in some time, and I'm just excited for more. But thoughts if you have any. Fans of the manga, anime, or rituals like myself, let me know your feelings down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.